Hello, dear Sagittarius. I am Jamie Dawn, your evolutionary revolutionary astrologer, bringing you your March 2021 horoscope. And we're going to get right to it, especially now that Mercury's direct. I'm feeling rather chatty, and I'm sure you are too. That quickening of the mind is probably at the forefront as you start the month of March. You're ready to communicate, you're ready to learn, you're ready to put into some sort of format some of the things that maybe you have experienced and learned over the last couple of months. But in particular, with Mercury retrograde in your third house, you most likely did a lot of research, internal processing, reevaluating some of the things in your life, maybe practicing in private some presentations that you are putting together. And maybe there's also a book inside of you that you're wanting to finally publish that maybe you spent some time in February, carving out a lot of quiet time to put those final touches on. Those are just some examples. The other thing that may have been triggered for you is you may have started thinking about future travel. There may have been even a possibility of conversation around moving, and yes, moving residences, and more so in the future oriented mindset, but that may have come into play. And now here comes March, and you may talk to somebody. If you're partnered, it may be you and your partner sitting down and talking about, the future, and where do you call that community, looking for that local kind of settling place, and one that can activate better communication. It may activate an opportunity to feel really connected. So if you're not feeling deeply connected to your current space, you may start planning maybe in a year or two, but the conversations are starting to say it's time for us to make this move and start preparing for it. I would imagine that when Mercury and Jupiter canoodle again on the 4th of the month, so right at the beginning, and we have Mars moving out of Taurus, where it has been since January 6th, and it's moving out of Taurus into Gemini on March 3rd, and that's going in your 7th house. And then Mercury and Jupiter canoodling in your 3rd house at Aquarius. This is setting up a beautiful trine that could have you talking, like I say, with your partner. If you're a single Sagittarius, it may have you looking at relocation, and it may offer that in order to do it, here are some pieces that need to be put into place. And with Jupiter and Mercury blessing each other and talking, there's a lot of chit chat, a lot of things that are going to be activated here that get your mind thinking about it on a more intense way. I would also say that, especially if you are someone who doesn't normally focus on relationship, this could activate your mind to start thinking and communicating a little bit more about the different relationships in your life. Maybe it's not so much how to deepen them, but how to have more fun. Maybe it's about how to connect on a more intellectual level. Maybe you, if you are partnered, or if you're somebody who doesn't like to necessarily do everything by yourself, you grab a friend or somebody that you really care about, and you're like, hey, let's take a class together. Let's do a certification together, whatever it might be. Now, granted, Sagittarius loves action, loves movement, especially when it comes to sports and competitions and things like that. So it might be that you grab a buddy and you say, hey, let's go work out together, or let's do this boot camp together, or whatever it might be. And so I offer this as an opportunity also to be able to feel a little bit more lighter in the month of March. The other thing that I feel March is going to bless you with is that, of course, we have a new moon, as we do every month, and this one will be in Pisces, and it is going to be in your 4th house of home, and that happens on the 12th. And with this new moon in Pisces, you may suddenly have these, maybe it's not sudden, maybe there's a contemplation time where you're sitting there and you're going, I have some faith and hope as I've planned into my future. I'm looking ahead to say, what is it that I really desire and what gives me great meaning? And your seeds of intention that you plant at this new moon, it may be that relocation happens, or that you're ready to establish your home in a very different way, one that has a little bit more color to it, a little bit more art, a little bit more of this improvement, but from a more spiritual mindset. I would imagine too that it could activate some healing and compassion when it comes to your ancestors. Maybe you have had a tough relationship with your parents, and this is a great time to start a healing process with them. The other thing I would say, Sag, is if you are working in the professional mental health field, that also could be a time where more clients come to you and allow your home life to be blessed because the income is flowing in, and because what you're working with a client may help you heal your own sense of awareness around, say, like I say, the parental role. I would also offer that when Mercury moves into Pisces on March 15th, this will doubly activate this new moon, and it will be in your fourth house. So again, you may reach out to some family members, some loved ones. It's not always family of origin. Sometimes it's family of choice that you have had some difficulties with, that you want to offer some healing through your words. It could also be that you just enjoy the depth, you appreciate the connection that you do have with your loved ones, and that you're able to have a little bit more communication with them that gives them insight into what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and that builds greater trust and greater bonds for all of you, really. Now, the other thing is just coming off of this new moon, about a week later, and Mercury in Pisces, we're going to have the sun moving into Aries, and that will be in your fifth house of fun and play and pleasure. And that happens on the 20th at the spring equinox. And Venus, she's also going to move into Aries at that time. And so she's going to be activating this fun, pleasurable. I would say you really are going to feel pretty sexy, pretty fun, lighthearted, and ready to get some things done. I would imagine around the spring equinox, you're going to be kicking ass, taking names, and doing it just for the fun of it. The other thing that could be active here is that if you do have children, or you're wanting to have children, extremely fertile time, have some great sex, enjoy it, make babies if that's what your thing is. Or if you already have children, you don't want more, then this could be a time where you're energized by your children, and that what they may bring to you is a new renewed life and energy, that they get some, let's say, some sort of award. As a parent, we feel very proud of our kids when something good happens for them. And that may be where you get good news around, say, a college or acceptance, or they win a competition, or they're able to go back to school in person. That seems to be a big thing right now. So there's a lot of things that can happen there. Also, on a personal relationship level, again, if you're wanting just to have a little bit more fun and lightheartedness, especially in the bedroom, then this is a great energizer for it. I would also say that if you are somebody who likes to play the lottery or do a little gambling here and there, obviously being responsible is a good thing. But if on the spring equinox is a great time to buy that lottery ticket and just, throw caution to the wind a little bit. At the end of the month, we have a full moon in Libra, and that's on the 28th. It will be in your 11th house, which has a lot to do with our friends. It has to do with our hopes and wishes, and the groups and communities in which we navigate on a wide scale. And so with this full moon in Libra, I would imagine that you'll be evaluating your relationships, your tribe, like, who is my tribe? And you may have to let go of one or two people, or you may exit a group, but you also may find that it creates space for new tribe members to come in, especially if you're doing all that healing work on the family ancestral piece that we talked about earlier. So what you may find is that through that healing, some of those relationships that you've had, those friendships even that you've had, or the group that you belong to, let's say it's a healing group, you've gotten what you needed out of it. And now you're moving to that next level. You're attracting that new group, that new friendship. And this could be a time for you to step into a greater sense of yourself. Because remember that in astrology, and like anything else in whatever tool you're using, we're here to come back to wholeness. So there's nothing broken, nothing to fix. This is just a greater awareness that allows life to breathe and move through you. And so I would offer that this full moon in Libra should give you a lot of confidence that you're moving in the right direction. And I feel, again, that March is going to be one of the most positive months of the year for you. I would love to hear how it goes. You know, you can find me at jamiedawn.com. Like, subscribe, share, comment, and I look forward to hearing from you. Have a great month, Sag.